since we're mentioning the supplement stuff and the microbiome stuff, I don't know how big of a if there is a presence of this supplement that is very popular in the US called AG1 or Athletic Greens is called AG1 now. It's sort of this sort of like super green food powder sort of thing that has, I don't remember the full composition, prebiotics, probiotics, but they do, claim that it is going to improve gut health, improve the microbiome. And up until recently, there hadn't been any, published human data. A couple of things that were in a simulated digestive tract model, which is very interesting, right? But it's not the human, right? It's not the human gut, not clinical outcomes, not physical outcomes. But there was a paper that did get published recently. It showed that it did affect the microbiome, but it did not lead to physical, clinical, human level outcomes, right?
Well, in that sense, in many studies related to microbiota, it's still too early to make a definitive conclusion or significant outcome. It's really difficult because, for example, as we said before, we have just one type of strain, and this type of strain can affect just one outcome or just one thing, but it doesn't work for another outcome. So in that sense, for example, in that study, for example, in stool consistency or gastrointestinal pain, another type of modulation, it doesn't change. So in this study, we still have limitation in methodology. For example, it's not the same results. Maybe could be different results in human models, not in animal models. We can say that it works at the same result. For example, it's not good to say that we have the same results in a gastrointestinal model that in the gastrointestinal humans, it could work in different ways, sorry. So also the methodology and the control of variables, such as, for example, diet, body composition, for example, medication use. It could, the use of antibiotics and other medication, it could affect the microbiota. For example, the intensity of exercise when we use it in sports or physical activity research, it's very important. As we said, microbiota can be modulated in different ways, so we need to control these all ways also. The diet, the environment, the exercise, the use of medication, all these variables we have to control, maybe to have the good results or clear results for everyone. For this reason, the studies of microbiota or probiotics could be very difficult to understand and to conclude some specific outcomes. It's not good to conclude it. And we have to be careful, for example, the use of the specific strain of probiotics that the study or the research use, because we can maybe have different results, and we can conclude that, for example, this is a probiotic and it works for gastrointestinal stress, but maybe this kind of probiotic, this specific probiotic, has not any gastrointestinal outcome. It could change inflammation, for example. It could modulate inflammation and has another perspective of action, for example.
Right.
So for that reason, it could be still too early to talk about the definitive conclusions about one supplement to change something. In the case that you use, for example, in that study, there was good results related to diversity and maybe richness of some species, some strains that improve, but there was not results, for example, in the physical variables, for example, the stool consistence, the Bristol range, for example, these kind of things that it could affect to our patient in the daily life, for example.
Right.
Too early to know it.